The reason I want to do this video is because a lot of Black people is saying that they want to boycott Target because Target is getting rid of or have gotten rid of their DEI program. And they feel like without that program, it's going to affect Black people in a negative way as far as how Target do business with them when it comes to hiring and putting their products in the stores. I want to look at Target 2023 Workforce Diversity Report, and this is during the time of DEI. They're speaking about gender as far as how many males and females they have in different positions, but I want to get down to this part, the racial ethnicity diversity. And so you can see that this is white, people of color, Asian, Black, Hispanic, and it goes on from there. And when you look at people of color represents all these people that are not white. So anyone that is not white is considered to be people of color. So that's where that one is coming from. But you can see the percentage of Black, which is 15%, and Hispanic, which is 31%. Native American is 7%. Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, 6%, two or more, 3%, unknown, 1.2%, and Asian, 5%. Then when you look down to people who are working in non-management positions at Target, you can see the numbers here and what percentage they are. People of color is the highest, but in reality, it's actually white people. Because, like I said, people of color is represented by every group that is not white. And you can see where Black people land on that percentage. In management position, it's the same thing. You can see where Black people land at 13%. Officials, the same thing. Only 9% of Black people work in that position. Board of directors, only 17% of Black people work in that position. And leadership team, only 6% of Black people work in the leadership team. And this is their 2023 report. What I want to look at now is 2020, because this is before Biden took office and became president. He became president in 2021 of January. So this is before the DEI program. So when you look at the numbers before the DEI program, and it's basically the same thing. This time the color for Black and African American is right here. And it's 15%. Non-management, 15%. Management position for Black people is 12%. Officials, 9%. Board of directors is 23%. Leadership team is 8%. And they have some more data as far as the females that was in certain positions within Target. Once again, people of color, what position they were working in. Black American, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, American Indian, Alaska Native, two or more, that means a person that's considered themselves to be biracial. So when you look at this information, when it comes to DEI, the blight numbers changed, but it didn't change a lot. It changed a little. So removing the DEI program, how much is it really going to affect Black people if they no longer have that program in place? And then I want to show you how DEI is affecting the military and why it was important that it was removed, that Donald Trump did remove the DEI from the military. I'm not going to read you all this. It's just one part I want to go over. Okay. Is how the State Department discriminatory DEI program undermined U.S. diplomacy and betrayed American values. Such training teaches critical race theory, a Marxist ideology that views the world through a oppressor versus oppressed lens. Freedom of Information Act requires concerning various training sessions, e.g., at the Air Force Academy, shows that the classes teaches concepts such as white privilege, eternal bias, and systematic racism. Worse, the Academy implement Eyes and Ears program that encourage students to report any private conversation that cadets DEI that contradicts DEI ideology. In teaching CRT and Marxism, the military is propagating an, an ideology that actively seeks the destruction of Western society, the same Western society that our soldiers are meant to protect. And rather than uniting service members behind a love of country, this training forces divisions based on characteristics such as race and even implies that patriotism is white supremacist. These DEI efforts have tangibly damaged our military. In the 1970s, early DEI efforts correlated with a recruitment crisis for the American military, leaving our military lacking personnel. The same holds true today as the military is again falling short of its recruitment goals or is lowering recruitment goals to meet a lower number of expected recruits. The military has one job and one job only, protecting the United States from its enemies. DEI does nothing to further that mission. Instead, it hinders it by promoting division, diverting critical resources, and fostering anti American ideology. It is time that we remove this ideology from our military before it destroys us.
President Trump's executive order prohibits the military from promoting, quote, divisive theories, abolishes DEI offices, and gives the Secretary of Defense 30 days to create detailed guidance. For perspective, we get two views. Retired Brigadier General Chris Walker had a 40-year career in the Air Force and was a senior advisor on diversity and inclusion from 2021 to 2023. He's on the board of advisors of Stand Together Against Racism and Radicalism in the Services. And retired Colonel Diane Ryan had a 29-year career in the Army, including as a professor at West Point and the Army War College. She deployed to Iraq and focused on psychological operations. She's now an associate dean at Tufts University. Thanks very much to both of you. Welcome to the NewsHour. Chris Walker, the president and his allies have argued that the Department of Defense has spent too much money and time on DEI projects, and that has reduced the lethality and the readiness of the troop. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. China is serious about what they're doing, and every dollar they spend is to be able to not only mitigate our military power, but defeat it. Any dollars we're spending not trying to keep up with China or surpass China is going to put our troops, our sailors, our Marines, our airmen in mortal danger. I don't think this country is ready to watch an aircraft carrier sink to the bottom of the sea. We need to be spending every dollar we have to be able to be so awesome China wouldn't even try it.
Diane Ryan, are these programs a waste of money?
I don't think they're a waste of money at all, Nick. DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, is part of talent management. It's about leveraging the talents of all of our people and recognizing the different strengths that people bring to the fight. It's leader development. And we can certainly look at how the money is being spent, but I think to say they're all bad and let's put all our money into technology and things that are directly related to the kinetic fight, you forget that all of our fighting is done by people, and we need to invest resources into building those teams.
Chris Walker, there are senior military leaders I've spoken to who believe that some of the criticisms of the DEI efforts are making either women or minorities in the military nervous, and that they're turning off people who do want to fight. What's your response to that?
Anybody who really wants to fight isn't going to be turned off by any of it. Anybody who is what I call a butt kicker, I say the other word that starts with A, is not really turned off by any of this. All right, and to my colleagues' comments, quite honestly, being a leader means knowing how to respect people. You don't need DEI training for that. Okay, and so I reject all of the what I call propaganda on all of this.
Diane Ryan, respond to that. Why do you even need DEI?
Because people are coming from all different places. It's a rapidly changing environment. I would like to look beyond just the training and think about the policies that help people. And they help people do things that they might not have otherwise been quite as effective doing. And a good example of that is uniforms. So I fought for 30 years trained in uniforms that were not designed for me, for my body type. And in the last 10 years, we've changed that. And we've created helmets for women and body armor for women. And women are achieving things that they never could have achieved before. So that's an example of an equitable investment that raises the bar for everybody. And especially in our deteriorating civility in the United States, I think that setting standards, commanders paying attention to this, measuring it, and putting resources to it is a good investment in our people.
In the time we have left, I want to ask both of you about recruiting. Diane Ryan, do you believe that some of these efforts could impact recruiting?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times someone has come up to me and just made those kinds of assumptions that if you let your kid go in the military, they're going to be mistreated. And I think some of the rhetoric that we're hearing over the last couple of weeks would certainly strike fear in me as a parent, worried that my kids are not going to be treated the way they deserve to be treated if we allow this kind of rhetoric to persist.
Chris Walker, are you worried about any of these efforts affecting military recruiting?
I've heard the opposite. Over the last 4 years, I've actually heard from literally hundreds of vets who say that they don't want their kids going into the military now because it's not about military anymore. Now I'm hearing from youngsters and parents saying, yes, now I will let my kids go in. But one last point. We got to do it like professional sports does it. Start inspiring kids at age 10, whether they go in the military or not, but have competitions with aviation, cyber, whatever it might be. Some will choose to go in the military, some won't. But what we will be able to do is get the Michael Jordans of the world, because that's what we need in order to keep China from rising.
Chris Walker, Diane Ryan, thanks very much to both of you.
Thank you, Nick.
My pleasure.
This is the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. These are laws that are in place to protect against workplace discrimination. And before I read this, and laws they cannot, the DEA, removing the DEA has nothing to do with these laws that are in place. And so the thing I want you to think about before I read the part that I want to go over, if laws are already in place to protect discrimination against Black people and other people, what was the point of having a DEA program? If Black products was already in stores like Target and other stores before the DEI program was in effect, what was the point of having a DEI program? if all these things was there, you have to think, what was the motive for the Democratic Party to push a DEI program? And then what is the motive for getting everyone riled up and upset, saying that now that the DEI program is not in effect, it's going to affect Black people in the workplace, or affect Black people as far as companies wanting to put their products in stores? So let me go ahead and read the part. Okay, it says, what type of employment discriminations are illegal? Under the EEOC laws, may not an employer may not discriminate against you regardless of your immigration status or the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, including pregnancy, childbirth, and related medical condition, sexual orientation or transgender status, age 40 and older, disability, genetic information, including employer requests for or purchase, use, or disclosure of genetic tests, genetic services, or family medical history, retaliation for filing a charge reasonably opposing discrimination or participating in a discrimination lawsuit, investigation, or proceeding, interfering, coercion, or threatening relating to exercising rights regarding disability discrimination or pregnancy accommodations. So these laws, what they're trying to say DEI was in place for, these laws was already there. These laws was already in place to protect your race, your religion, your national origin, your sexual orientation. So why did a DEI program need to be in place? Like I stated before, it has nothing to do with the rights of Black people. I heard a person say that boycotting Target is the same as what happened back in the 60s when they did the bus boycott so Black people can be able to sit anywhere they wanted to on the bus. It is absolutely not the same. During the time of the 60s, when they did the boycott against the bus, there was no one Black working for the bus company driving those buses. There was nobody Black owning the bus company or even part of the bus company. So, not riding the bus only affected one sector of people as far as their finances. Boycotting Target is not just hurting one sector, you're also hurting yourself. There are Black employees at Target. There are Black people, like I said, who had products inside of Target before a DEA program ever existed. Target is a company, like any company, they're for profit. If a Black product is selling, they're not going to take it out of the stores. If a Black product is not selling, then yes, they're going to take it out of the stores. They have other nationality products in the stores as well that's made by different companies. It might be something from China, it might be something from Mexico, it might be something from Brazil, something else. It's different nationalities that got products inside of Target, as well as white people that are selling those products. Those products are in that store because they are selling. Not just because they're Black, not just because because they are selling. If Target do a Black History Month and they are featuring some new Black people that haven't been in their store before, and if the demand for their product is high, even if they're just doing a test run for the month of February for Black History, if the demand of that product is high, then Target might give them a second look and say, hey, maybe we should go ahead and do a contract with them because we see people are calling, hey, are you going to have this product back in the store? Hey, why this product is not in the store? It's about Black people supporting Black people, because if a product is not selling, I don't care what color the person is, that store is not going to have that person in the store. They're not going to keep a product in the store that is not selling because it's going to start costing them money. So if you're going to boycott something, boycott the DEA program that has absolutely nothing to do with Black community, with Black people. You already have something in place to protect you against discrimination. You already have a company, and like I said, other companies that no longer support DEI, they already was supporting Black people by having them in stores. No, they're not going to have them on every shelf in every corner that you turn, but they are going to have products in their stores that their customers want because it's selling. Products on a shelf also depends on the neighborhood that they're selling to. If there's a neighborhood that's there are not a lot of Black people and there are not a lot of demand for certain products, it's not going to be in the store. That's just basic business. And so to be the front runners of a program, of a DEI program that don't even affect you in any way, shape, or form, why would you be the ones that's out there putting yourself out there when the people that is really for, they're standing behind you waiting till you kick down that door. Then once that door is down, they're going to run over you, shut the door behind them while you're still on the outside, and you don't have anything to show for the work that you did for someone else when you could be doing that same work for yourself. That's the part that you need to think about when you're going out there saying, should I boycott? Should I not boycott? Don't boycott or not boycott based on what someone else says. Boycott based on having information, having facts, having truth in front of you. And you can say, okay, this is something that is truly affecting Black people. So, yeah, I'm going to boycott. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do this. Like I said, when you look at the numbers as far as how many Black employees Target had before DEA, and then you look at how many employees Target had, Black employees Target had during DEA, do you see a big number jump, a big number change? Did the number really get higher? And then Black people want to be part of the people of color. They want to be, instead of just being Black Americans, they want to be in a group. So when that group number is high, it doesn't necessarily reflect you. If you understand what I'm saying, that people of color is high, but the number of Black people within certain positions are low. But they made they quota as far as people of color because that's what everyone wants to be, part of the people of color, instead of being, I want to know how many Black people actually work here. I want to know how many Black people are being affected. If that's what you're running on as far as why you're boycotting, because you're saying Black people are being affected by removing the DEI program, when there's actually laws in place that protects you against workplace discrimination. It protects you when it comes to hiring. It protects you when it comes to firing. They're already in place. So what was the point of the DEI program? Like I stated before in other videos, it's a Marxist program that's designed to undermine this country, which is designed to continue the racial divide. It's just like if you say, I'm going to buy a red car or I'm going to buy a certain type of car, eventually you're going to start seeing that car everywhere you turn. You're going to look up, that car is going to be there. You're going to look over here, that car is going to be there. You're going to be thinking to yourself, oh my God, as soon as I said I wanted this car, that car was there. If you're teaching people that white people are supremacists, that white people are over Black people, and that Black people are under white people, guess what's going to happen? Eventually, people are going to start thinking that. Eventually, everywhere they turn, that is what they're going to see. That's mind control. So you're allowing people to use mind control to get you to fulfill their agenda that's not going to benefit you. Think about that. It is not going to benefit you when you keep talking about, is there racist people in America? Absolutely, positively, yes. But think about how often on your daily walk in life do you come across a person that you know is absolutely racist, because you could be sitting and talking to someone that don't like you every single day, but they never allow you to see their racist side because they understand, I have to live in this world with different people and I need to make a living to pay my bills. So they're not going to show you that side. So why go looking for it? Be aware, but why go looking for trouble when trouble is not in front of you? So when you keep pushing that agenda about white people being more being white privileged, white people got this, white people got that, and black people will always be on the bottom. Black people can never succeed. Why try as a black person? Because everything and everybody is holding you back. If you keep pushing that, especially in the minds of children, what do you think is going to happen? When it comes to the military, I don't care how you look, where you, if you're in the military, you should have, your mindset should be, I'm here because I want to defend and protect my country if a war break out. And if they're pushing in the academy when they're training these cadets to become to go into the military, and they're teaching them the eyes and ears theory, where they're actually looking for and telling on people who's speaking against the DEI program. Excuse me. The only thing you're teaching these people to do is be divisive and to run and tell. You don't want that in the military, because the people who are on the field, they should be brothers, they should be sisters, they should be willing to kill and die for one another in that situation when you're on that battlefield. You don't want someone to get caught, the other side catch them. Now they're in the mindset, oh, let me tell. Oh, this is where the other people are at. This is what's going on in America. Because they got that I need to tell attitude. You done drilled that in their heads in the academy to run and tell. But when it comes to the military, you want people on that battlefield that, one, want to be there to defend their country. Two, know what they're doing. It doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter what gender they are. All what matter is that they know that whatever position they're in that position because they have been taught, because they know what they're doing. They're war ready. They're there because they know, I have to defend my country. I have to defend the other people, my other brothers and sisters in the military that's out there on the field with me. I need to protect them. That's the mindset they need to go out there with. They do not need to go out there with the divisive mindset, because all it's going to do is hurt them, which is in return will hurt the country as a whole.